The Vikings were famous for their sea voyages and piracy. They appeared and dominated northern Europe in the Middle Ages. They also toured the Atlantic Ocean and arrived in America before Christopher Columbus arrived. They lived specifically in Scandinavia, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, England, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Russia, and Spain. Their ships reached the islands of Greenland and Iceland. The reason for their departure from Scandinavia was the steady increase in the population of that country, which affected agricultural land and helped them navigate the seas of the development of the shipbuilding industry there. The Vikings descended from the Garmians, who lived in northwestern Europe, and then moved to Scandinavia in about 2000 BC, where they remained in small groups for each king or master group ruled by them. Their class is divided into three strata. The first class is the nobility, the kings and the masters, and the rich. The second free class, the farmers and the merchants and the state employees. The third and last class is the slave class, who are either slaves of birth or prisoners of war. Most of the Vikings worked in agriculture and livestock, and some of them worked on fishing or shipbuilding and others on trade. The man is the master in the family, in which women enjoyed many rights, and including the right to divorce. The Vikings have become accustomed to more than one marriage, breeding and breeding, leading to a significant increase in the population, and resulting in the Vikings leaving the Scandinavia to the outside world. The Vikings buried their dead in ships, believing that they would take them to the land of the dead, as they buried with the dead his needs, including his dogs and servants. Sometimes the Viking had numerous idols, including Odin, the goddess of war, and death, the god of agriculture and love, and the god of heaven, light, rain, thunder, and wind. It is the dominant climate. The Viking was one of the best builders of ships, having improved its construction and shape, and built commercial and marine vessels, and volunteered to be seaworthy in seas and rivers, relying on sails and winds. Their vessels have a distinctive shape. They have curved curves, and they know their own way of knowing the direction of the sea. For example, they used the gorges to know the direction of the land. They were burning all they did not take or plundering, and in their wars they were very careful to seize horses, then cattle, as well as valuables made of gold and silver, which are often found in churches and monasteries. This explains our continued invasion of these churches and monasteries in Ireland, Scotland, and other countries. Their wars and invasions were characterized by swiftness and the element of surprise, helped by the speed of their ships. The shores of eastern England, Ireland and Scotland were invaded by Norwegian Vikings during the 8th and 9th centuries. They also invaded and looted parts of France, Italy, and Spain. They reached as far as Iceland and Greenland. They reached America, where they settled for a while on its eastern shore. Their remains are there. The Danish Vikings focused their attacks on Belgium and France, the Lowlands, the Netherlands, and England. They settled in eastern England until the English king forced them to withdraw from there. The Swedish Vikings invaded the rivers of Eastern Europe in the 9th century and established roads and trade centers in the land of Slavs, and controlled the trade routes between the Baltic Sea and the Black Sea. The Viking presence in 3 locations in Scandinavia led to the emergence of 3 peoples: the Danes, and the Norwegians, and the Swedes, and their continued attacks on England led to their unification.
Thank you. Do not forget to subscribe.